how to eat healthy while traveling for business. By the time we're done with the video today, you're going to join the elite group of travelers who look good and feel good even as they're road warriors. Let's get started. First, we're going to look at what you need to do before you leave home to set you up for success. Secondly, your mom or grandma were probably right. We're going to discover what they had right minus the big purse that can help you in eating healthy on the road. And then lastly, we're going to identify the technology that can help keep you on track even while you're busy on the road. Let's get started. So first, I have to start off by saying I'm a relatively healthy eating vegetarian who takes over 100 business flights a year. I think you can understand how I might have to do a little bit of planning, and there might be a little bit of savvy involved in ensuring that I have delicious, healthful food while I'm on the road. And that's the key word here, delicious. I'm not trying to have you eating healthy, but feeling like you're suffering along the way. But there's things that we can do to ensure that we're prepared for success. So the first step, and this is going to seem really simple, but eat before you go to the airport. Don't plan to have your meal at the airport if you can help it. Just start off on the right foot. So if your flight is after breakfast time, eat breakfast at home. If you can catch lunch at home, if you can eat dinner at home, even while there might be dinner served on your flight or lunch, depending on if you have first class or not, or if you're traveling international or not, one of the best ways to set yourself up for success is to eat your first meal still at home. The fewer meals you have on the road, the less chance you have for being set up for fail. The second tip that I have for you, I want you to think back to childhood, and your mom or grandma or probably some older woman that you were around, they probably had a big purse. You remember that big purse, just huge purse? And you probably even made fun of them for having that big old purse. And if you were to go in the purse, they had everything in there you could ever imagine. They had little candies, they had a roll of toilet paper, they had a knife, they had anything you could possibly, spoons, all the silverware, everything lived, a blanket, everything lived in that purse, right? But one of the things they almost always had was some type of snack. My tip for you is always pack snacks. And if you're on the road for several days, get one of those large freezer baggies and fill it with snacks. And think about what kind of things you can enjoy. So it might be something like, for me, I do like the little peanut butter packs or the almond butter packs, the little packages where you can just have that as a snack. There might be certain cereal bars that you like, or breakfast bars, or fruit bars that are healthy. Maybe you like packaged olives or pickles, or maybe there's some really delicious baked chips that come in individual bags. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'm a vegetarian, so I do protein shakes every single morning. And so I actually have individually packaged protein packets that go into that snack bag as well. So think about all the things that you could eat, because there might be times where you stop over somewhere, maybe you're at a small airport that doesn't have a lot of variety. The only thing they have is pizza and French fries. You don't want to succumb to just eating that because it's there. So if you have enough snacks, there are times where you won't have access to healthy foods, but you'll have healthy snacks that can bide you time. For instance, I've been in a situation before where we've been stuck on the plane. Maybe we're on the tarmac, something's going on, we're sitting on the plane for a couple of hours. Rather than starving on the plane, I have a pack full of snacks. And so I'm sitting there snacking it up. Sometimes I'm feeling a little generous, and so I might turn to the people next to me and offer them snacks as well. But always have snacks, and plenty of snacks. If you do that, you're always going to have alternatives if you go somewhere and there's no food that's suitable for you to eat that's healthy. We're going to pause here for a moment because I have 3 more tips for you. But before we go any further, what are your tips for eating healthy on the road? Are there certain things that you've done that set yourself up for success that you think other people watching the video would benefit from? If so, go ahead, drop that off in the comments. We're all here to learn from each other. So my next tip for you is, if you're going to be in a location for a significant amount of time, more than 2 days, buy groceries. One of the things that I'm known for is, if I'm going to be in a location for an extended period of time, whether there's a refrigerator in the room or not, I'm going to get some groceries. Now, obviously, the groceries that you purchase will depend on if you have that refrigerator or not. But for instance, you can get bananas. You don't have to have a refrigerator to have those bananas in there. You can get certain healthy snacks and vegetables, carrots. You don't have to put those in a refrigerator. You can actually, if you have a refrigerator, buy already boiled eggs and put those in the refrigerator. That's a good source of protein for you. So think about if you're going to be in a location, especially if you're an extended stay where you have a kitchen, then there's certainly no excuse. But even if you're in a full service with a tiny refrigerator, and those are usually the properties I find myself in, you can buy quite a few groceries so that you have meals already available to you. I'll give you one of my sneaky tips that may or may not work for you. I don't drink coffee. For the most part, I'm not in my room making coffee. But you can use the coffee machine to make your soup. So if you want to have a soup base, you have some bouillon cubes in there, some veggies, you can fix yourself a whole meal in there. I do that from time to time when there's nothing else that I really want to eat or nothing that's healthful. Because again, we always have access to those room service menus, and you start looking at them and all of a sudden the burger looks good, the French fries look good, that alcohol looks good, the cheesecake and the different types of cakes and desserts and pies look wonderful. Having other options available to you, especially if those other options are actually faster and cheaper, will oftentimes curb our appetite and keep us from making those unfortunate decisions that don't have a good impact on our health. Now you might be saying, I don't want to take the time to go to a grocery store when I go to these different locations. Who has time for that? The good news is you don't have to be the one to do it. You can use grocery delivery apps. There are many different apps that you can choose from. I'm not even going to name them because there's so many, but you can have groceries delivered to your hotel. Just simply track them, make sure that you're down there to meet them at the appropriate time. If you need to go to the concierge and get a cart to be able to take all your groceries up to your room, do it. Don't worry about how you look. So, it's one of those things where you might have people that are making jokes. If you're traveling somewhere with your peers, they might be like, grocery person, whatever. I do this all the time. Sometimes people crack jokes, but you know what? My peers also think it's funny because I always have groceries available. I always have food available. If there's a break in our meeting and they're all rushing to the different outlets to try to find food and they're in a line, they don't know if they're going to get through it fast enough. I can easily go to my room, have my food, be back down in place before many of them are even served. Speaking of getting groceries delivered, you can actually get entire meals delivered. So if you don't see something at your particular hotel or a restaurant nearby that looks appetizing, that's also healthy, don't hesitate to use an app like Uber Eats to have food delivered from nearby. I know for me, one of my go-tos is finding some type of Mediterranean restaurant or a Chipotle or Freebirds or something like that where I can build myself a nice healthy meal that's vegetable based but still has some really healthy other items too. You may not be a vegetarian like me, or you may even be a vegan. All of these types of places will have tons of variety and healthy foods for you to choose from. All right, so one of my last tips on being healthy on the road is this: drink water. Drink tons of water, because oftentimes we feel like we're hungry because we're actually thirsty. We just have extra space in our tummies. And then if we're traveling and we're not the ones driving, or we're not the ones flying, we're sitting in the back of the plane, then we start to get munchy, right? Because that's what we do. When we sit around, we start to want snacks. Now you have your healthy snacks and those are fine, but you may not even need to consume those. You might just need to drink more water. I'm gonna give you just one more bonus item. I didn't even plan on mentioning this, but because we're so close, we're like, BFFs now, I just thought I'd share something else with you. Travel with workout clothes. Because if you're staying in hotels specifically, most of them have a fitness center. And I don't know about you, it's a lot harder for me to make excuses to not go down in an elevator by 3 floors and get out and go work out than it is for me at home to make excuses on why I can't get dressed and drive down the street and go to this place or that place in the heat. There's less excuses for us not to work out, so you might as well just throw a pair of workout clothes in there just in case the feeling hits you. So when we think about what we've reviewed today, it's all about eating healthy while you're on the road, and I even gave you a few little bonus tips. Why are you trying to do these things? Because you want a more positive future. You're thinking about your health further on. If you want to do some more planning for your future, you'll notice in the description of this video, there's a link to download the Future Ready Playbook. This is a free tool I've developed for you that will help you develop your goals, whether they be personal or professional or organizational, and they'll help you be more strategic about how you're planning for the future. So if you haven't already downloaded that before, take a minute, download it now.